you're wondering what I'm talking about in regards to bakers, y'all, the Interior Design Business Bakery is our year-long mentorship program. And that is where we teach interior designers, excuse me, let me get comfortable, how to build the business of their dreams, how to not trade time for money, how to install processes, procedures, pricing. We had a 2-hour call today. We went over a lot of pricing stuff. So it's fantastic. If you're looking to scale your business from 5 figures into multiple 6, that's what we do. So anywho, I'm glad you guys are here. And I'm glad for those of you who are not bakers that you're here as well, because that just means that you are wanting to move your business forward in the interior design industry. If you guys are not ready for the bakery, I am just going to give a quick commercial for another option that we have. It's called Sugar and Spice Society. Oh, hey, there's Tanya. Tanya's in our Sugar and Spice Society. Hey, girl, good to see you. And that is a lot of marketing, a lot of sales, a lot of content in that direction. We're actually turning it into a 6-month program, and it has a lot of content. And the goal is basically that you start getting enough income that you can jump into the bakery. So that's that. So if you're wondering who I am, like after all of this sugar and spice and baking references, my name is Michelle Lynn, and I am the owner of ML Interiors Group. We are, I just saw my numbers. We are a 7-figure interior design firm. Yay. Last year was really tough. And we still managed to hit the $1 million mark, award winning, and we're in Dallas, Texas. And because, thank you, Lord, my business is based off of processes and procedures, and I have a badass team, I am able to spend time coaching and mentoring and just leading other interior designers on the path that I've walked, and telling you where to step and where not to step so you don't fall down the mountain. Okay. Today we are going to be talking. Hello, Elizabeth Craig. It's good to see you in the chat too. Hello. Oh, and Lynn knows you from what? What's IVIDA? What is that? You guys know each other? How fun is that?
It's a International Vegans Association
of
interior designers.
Oh, that's amazing. There's a group for everything, isn't there?
Yep.
I love that. I freaking love that. And how neat that you guys recognize each other from the Zoom.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that. I was curious. Okay, so 3 ways to stay top of mind. That's what we're talking about today. So if you're here, then you've gotten here pretty much through the Interior Designers Business Launchpad, which is our Facebook group. And that's our free Facebook group. This is where I go live almost weekly. Sometimes it's 3 times a month. Other times it's just like, you know what? I overbooked myself. Sorry, I don't show up. But Hallie is always sending out reminders on the day before or the day of as well. So what we're training on today, and I've got my notes as I keep looking down, is 3 ways to stay top of mind. And what I want to share, and this is something that ML Interiors Group, we've recently done an outreach back to our old clients, is just because we've worked with them before, or just because they've worked with us, does not necessarily mean that they're going to remember or pick up the phone or shoot us an email to do another project in the future. Maybe they moved, maybe they got a vacation home, okay, or maybe they are trying to refer us to somebody, but it's been 10 years. Maybe you've rebranded. Okay, or maybe they just don't even remember your name because they dropped their phone in the lake and they don't have your contact information anymore. So it's important for us to stay top of mind with people that we've worked with, but also those individuals that we've met. Maybe we were at a networking meeting, we gave them our business card, we took their business card, hit it off. You thought, oh my gosh, she said she has a kitchen renovation that she wants to do next year. Surely she's going to call me. That's not necessarily going to be the case. So what we want to do is we want to be very intentional that we stay top of mind. And my first thought when I was, going into business is like, how in the hell am I supposed to do that? Like, I can barely keep up with, the 3 tasks that I have to complete today, much less following up with clients, coming up with design schemes and things like that. Well, if you guys have been around in this little world for any length of time, you know, I call myself efficiently lazy. Okay. Like I want to get shit done, but I want to get it done efficiently so that I don't and with as little effort as possible so that I can go on to other things that I want to get done. So one of the biggest things that I have implemented in my business, well, there's a handful of them, but is get a CRM. A CRM is a customer relationship manager. Yes, it is it's an investment. It's more money that you're spending, but it's an investment because it's going to make you money. Okay. I think Zoho is one from Google that you can use. I think there's something called High Rise. I'll tell you, I'm a co-founder of one called Sidemark that's designed specifically for interior designers. It's mysidemark.com. But what you want to do is with a CRM, what that is it's a place where it's where you house all of the business cards that you've ever collected. Okay. You put their name in there and you put their email, put their phone number too. Okay. And then you can put their company name, or you can just put their client. You can tag them like this is a prospective client, this is an architect, this is another designer. So that you can stay in touch with them accordingly. Okay, so this is where you house everything. And the way you stay in touch with them is that you create, and this is where like if you go to Zoho or something, you can attach to MailChimp and you start sending out emails. Okay, so what you do basically is to stay top of mind is, let's just say I just met Hallie at a networking event. Okay. Hallie said, hey, yeah, give me your card. I get her card. And then maybe she doesn't even mention that she has a project coming up, or maybe she's a contractor and I want her referrals. Like whatever reason, I drop her into my CRM and then she goes on what I call a nurture list. So at least once a month, she's getting an email from me. Okay. Now, it's not spammy. It is not fully self-promotional. It needs to be of some value. Like, why do you hire an interior designer? What do you do before hiring an interior designer? And then at the end, you're giving them a call to action. How an interior designer can increase the return on investment of your home. Things along that line. So, oh, I think we just lost Hallie, speaking of which. I guess she didn't want to hear from me. So Emily West, you are now the host, by the way. Don't know how that happened. She'll be coming back soon, I'm sure. Or her internet might have gone down. So Emily, don't hang up. Okay. If you need to hang up, you need to make me the host. So they're on your email list. What happens is basically is once a month. So all you need to do right now is you need to create 12 buckets, 12, you need to create 12 correspondences. And they need to be generic. Because if you meet somebody in December, or if you meet somebody in August, they don't need to be getting seasonal emails per se, because you don't know when they're going to sign up to drop into that nurture list. Okay, so once a month, big deal. You create 12. What happens when they roll off? How do you stay in touch with people? Well, basically what you're doing is once a month, they're getting something that's been pre-written. You write it once, or you hire a copywriter to write it once, and you're good to go. Then you're writing a blog once a month, and then you send that out to your email list. Okay, so people in the first 12 months are getting a minimum of 2 emails from you. And then after they drop off the pre-written stuff, they're still getting 1 a month. So with that, and I'll tell you that I used to do home staging. I started my business. I did home staging, organizing, and redesign. So I was doing home staging from 2008 until pretty much 2013, when I really flipped over into doing more design. That's a whole different story. But I still get calls or emails about staging homes from people who were on my email list back in the day. Okay. Oh, there's Hallie. She's back. Hey, girl. Um, oh, Emily, you're off the hook. You can hang up at any point and you won't shut us all off. So, um, so anywho, so that is a very easy way to stay in touch with people. And then, so they're getting general marketing emails, just the nurture. And then what you can also do is when you have their information, if you wanted to get fancy, you can tag them so that you can say, hey, here's my email list specifically for architects. Here's my email list specifically for homeowners. Here's my email list specifically for realtors. They get the whole general nurture series, but then you can target them specifically if you have specific content. It's really, once you get your arms around it, it's not difficult and it's incredibly powerful. Okay, so calls, notes, what you can also do in your CRM. Okay, again, mysidemark.com is my favorite. Thank you, Hallie, for dropping the summer storm in Florida. So for dropping the links are in the chat. But another thing that you can do is when you talk to somebody, let's say you want to remember, like I met Hallie at the NARI meeting in June of 2024. And she has one daughter, or she has two daughters, a son, a dog, a cat, and a husband. Her oldest daughter is blah, blah, blah. Her youngest daughter's senior year. Like you can keep track of all the shit that you learn about them so that if you do pick up another conversation, it's like, hey, Hallie, if I recall correctly, when we met last year, your daughter was going to be heading off to college or into her senior year. How is that going for her? Okay, so you can make these little notations. Same thing as if you know that they're going to be a client, they're a warm lead. You want to remember their dogs' names. You put that stuff in there. Then when they hire you, you've got all of their information in one location. Okay, so we can do a whole training on how to use a CRM, but that's one way. Okay, that is the platform that you continue to build on. It doesn't matter if you have 5 people in there, it's going to grow. Build relationships, not transactions. I'll tell you, y'all, as an introvert, like I don't like building relationships. That's not my strong suit, but you have to do it in regards to, and I say I'm an introvert, basically I just sometimes just don't even like people because I'm just kind of cranky. Like the older I get, the more cranky I get. So anyway, I see some of you guys smiling. I know you can appreciate that. But anyway, you have to build relationships. Like you don't meet people and say, oh, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I used to work in a restaurant. I was a manager for a restaurant, literally since I graduated college until I was about 30 years old. And one of the things that I saw often was the servers would get pissed off because they'd get crap for a tip. Okay, I gave them good service, la la la. I'm sure you did. However, that is a person. That is a table full of humans. That is not a tip. That is not a walking tip. Like, don't look at that person as a transaction. You serve them. You serve them from the heart. They're going to feel that. You meet people from the heart. They're going to feel that. Does that make sense? Like, I really hope, like, for as an example, it's like, I hope that you guys feel that I give a shit about your business. Okay. For those of you who are not in one of my paid programs, I care about you as a person. I don't care about you signing up. Okay. Signing up is going to be a result of you knowing and trusting that I do have your best interest at heart. And if and when the time comes for you to exchange, money for services, that's secondary. But you have to show up at these networking events. You have to show up to an inquiry on the telephone with your heart leading and not your bank account. Does that make sense? Because so often, especially when it gets like when times are tight, you get to this point where there's like this desperation in the undertone of your delivery, and it just turns people off. but you're not feeling it, but you're feeling them as a transaction and not as a human on the other side of the screen or on the other side of the phone or directly across from you. So you need to build relationships. And that's another reason why it's like the CRM works great, because I can't keep track of all of y'all, right? Like I recognize Elizabeth and her name, but is she in the bakery? Was she in the bakery? Was she in Sugar's? I don't know. But hey, recognize her. But I like if she was in my CRM, I could remember that she's also a vegan. Okay. So like these things are kind of cool. Her and Lynn, I could go put that in there. So I could ask in the future, how are things going? Because you meet so many people, you don't always remember these details, but they still mean something to you and they mean something to the person on the other side of that conversation when you reference them. So like when you're out networking, it's great as you're meeting people, but it's also great if you say, hey, let's take this conversation offline. Would you like to go get coffee sometime? Okay, tell me about your business. Tell me how I can support you. Okay, because maybe it's a contractor, maybe it's a builder, maybe it's an architect. It's like, how can I support you? Giver's gain. How can I support you before you're asking for anything? If it's a prospective design client, that's where hey, if you have any questions, let me know. We can schedule our free meet and greet, and you can hop on to Zoom for 45 minutes or an hour. Okay, so you can just kind of spending time with individuals like that. Speaking of like being social media, y'all. Okay, these are all low to no cost investments on social media. Builders, architects, realtors, general contractors, like these natural partnerships, artists, other local designers. These local partnerships, you need to engage with them. Even if it's like, this is a gorgeous design, or this is beautiful, this is stunning, fire, 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 like whatever. But have these conversations on a regular basis. And I say conversations, or you DM them or anything like that. And you don't want to ghost them if they comment on you. Okay, make sure that you comment back. Another thing is also when you're posting, and I know some of you guys have heard this, but I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Be yourself. Be yourself. Let your personality come through on social media. Whatever that is. Like I'm gonna pick on Lynn and Elizabeth here because we just found out y'all vegetarian, vegan, however strict you are or are not, that's unique, right? It's also a lot of work. I was vegan for 6 months and holy crap, that's a lot of work. I did feel good though. I felt about the best ever. And then I got lazy. But anyway, the point is that if that's part of your identity, if that's part of who you are, share that. Let people know. If it's in an introductory post, like, hi, I'm Michelle. Let me tell you, 5 fun facts about me, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Because what's going to happen is other individuals who have a shared interest are going to relate to you before they relate to somebody like me who might be like gnawing on a piece of meat, talking about, I don't know, winner, chicken dinner. So like, be yourself. And so when you do show up in person, they feel like they already know you to a certain extent, but they get to know the real you. Does that make sense? So this is how you stay top of mind, is because you keep showing up, one, in their inbox. Okay. 2, you keep showing up to some of these individuals that you think can be a referral partner. Because once you get to know somebody, you go have coffee with them, you're going to be more likely to engage with them on social media. just because they're kind of like your new friend. And social media, if you keep showing up as yourself, people are going to get to know you and like you. So being social, being yourself on social. Oh, thank you, Hallie, for the notes. Yeah. So really, I think that just being intentional and oftentimes slowing down and going deep instead of wide. You don't need to have 15 builders in your phone contacts. Maybe you have 15 builders in your CRM, so you stay in touch with them, but really you just start nurturing one relationship at a time. See if it's going to go anywhere. And then once that nurtures into something or it doesn't, then you move on to the next one. You don't have to reach out to all 15 at once. So you just kind of take your time. All right. Well, I think that is my 10 minutes of training today, 22 minutes later. But I love what I do. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you so very much. Please don't hesitate to share with your friends, other designers, bring them into the launch pad, bring them into this little community that we have. I joke there's so many ugly houses, y'all. There's plenty for all of us. And a rising tide